We begin this ceremony with a moment of silence to honor the memories of Whitney Hendrickson and Robert Geiger Yin, two beloved members of the class of 2012. Gracious God, we gather on this beautiful morning to celebrate these graduates. We acknowledge their hard work and the sacrifices they have made, the dedication they have shown in order to achieve this milestone in their life's journey. We offer thanksgiving for everyone who has supported these graduates, family and friends, faculty and staff, classmates and hallmates. As they prepare to move beyond these Grinnell walls and take the knowledge they gained into the world, we recognize that their paths will be as diverse as their experiences, their personalities, their skills, their individual goals, and their dreams. Grant them, we pray, the commitment, the energy, and the resources that they need for the next steps. Help them to find the work that feeds their hearts and the work that the world needs them to do. May this celebration be memorable for us all, and may the Grinnell experience be a source of joy and pride for each graduate on this day and always. Amen. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present Jamaica Kincaid, writer, novelist, and professor. She has carved out a unique and cherished place in the American literary landscape. Her gift of expression and honest, candid writing serves as an excellent model for our graduates. Please welcome Jamaica Kincaid.
Thank you very much. Thank you, class of 2012, for asking me to come to speak to you. Thank you to President Kington, the Board of Trustees, my fellow honorees, your splendid faculty, some of whom I met yesterday. Thank you, and you should thank your parents, your relatives, your grandparents, all the people who supported you at this moment. I thank them for presenting you here, and may I ask you to publicly thank them for this extraordinary thing. And congratulations on this wonderful moment in your life. I'm a bit nervous to be addressing people at this moment in your life, because in a few minutes, really, some words will be uttered to you and they will transform you into something else. You'll no longer be students. You will be grown-up people in the world, responsible, we hope, for yourselves. And so it's a great honor to talk to you, to say a few words to you. People who do this know how to draw you into something. I don't really know how to do that, but I know how to write something and to read it to you. And so this is how I would like to address you. Are you all well? Is this the most wonderful moment of your life so far? Are you so very happy, and at the same time, are you so very sad? For is this not the moment when you feel free from the burdens of the years just past, filled up as they were with the everyday burdens of term papers, reading assignments, class attendance, an emulsion of feelings and attachments that sometimes threaten to sink and ultimately obliterate the carefully constructed you, arranged by your authors who are your parents, and they have made you, that is by now unknown to the familiar eye, but here you are, a culmination of a sequence of events that would lead to this moment, your presence here. How do you feel now? How do you feel right now? Why don't I leave you alone and say something quick, something fast, something funny? For we are all Americans, and as Americans we prefer funny. And so why don't I tell you a joke, or make fun of you and all that you love and cherish? Your mother, for instance, and her devotion to doing something on weekends that women until her had never done before, and how happy it makes her, and how fulfilled it makes her, and how happy and fulfilled is all that she is right now, right now. Your father, for instance, but I can't tell you anything funny about your father. Saying I can't tell you anything funny about your father is funny, but if you don't think so, that's all right. What if you're saying to yourself, my father is really funny, and you are now remembering that maybe he ate a grasshopper on purpose because he wanted to show you how cool a dad could be, or because once at dinner time while you were sitting at the dining table with him, he said, well, he said something that is very funny. But the thing is, who are you? Who are you? I have been asked to speak to you, and I've been asked to speak to you by people who must have some idea of who you are, and I must have agreed with them about who you are. And I, with enthusiasm, agreed to do so. But now that I have you in my mind's eye, your body's firm and still in your seats, your face is blank, for this space has no knowledge of you yet. I'm writing with you in mind, and as I write this, I'm imagining you, and when I say all that I'm about to say here, I'm only imagining you. I don't really know you at all. And so this is a leap on my part, thinking of you and composing a series of thoughts to you. I have singled out one of them, one of those thoughts. It is a thought, one I have examined for a very long time now, since I was 7 years of age, in fact, and it is this. You must bite the hand that feeds you. You are perhaps always told the opposite of this. The opposite of this is often said to you, do not bite the hand that feeds you. But from time to time, I tell you, you must. When I was 7 years of age, a child in a government school in St. John's, Antigua, where I was born, as a punishment for misbehaving in my classroom, I was commanded to copy books 1 and 2 of Paradise Lost. The assignment itself was a source of great shame to me, for to be made to copy anything we considered far worse than being beaten. At the time, I did not understand the meaning of that. A beating is something shrugged off. A beating by the person who can administer it is accepted by the person who is receiving it. It is part of the arrangement of the social world that we lived in. For both the administrator of the beating and the recipient of the beating know that the chances of a reversal for beater and the beaten is more than great. Both of them know that the world turns, and this scientifically demonstrable fact of it turning on its axis is for beater and beaten a metaphor for the intimate social reality that existed between them. Beat me now, for one day I will beat you. But to copy word for word a text of any kind, especially a text that is of tremendous value to the group of people who dominate you, the group of people who hold sway over you, and you know it is of tremendous value to to them because it is being placed before you in the most casual way in my case, and also in the most important way, it was a part of my education. It was meant to be a part of my being led into an understanding of the world, the moral world, and that I might see myself in this world in a certain way and adjust myself accordingly. That is why it was being placed before me. That is why I was being forced to commit that text to memory. For memory, in my case, as I present it to you here, is one of the central ingredients that make up our own being, your own existence. Memory is often all you have left of yourself. For yourself, your physical self has its own set of reality and betrayals. Just for instance, as I recall all this, is there anything about my present physical appearance that could sum up in you right now an abundance of positive feeling for the 7-year-old of me struggling to copy Dear John Milton? Dearest John Milton, that prophet of the modern world, the world in which you and I now live, the world in which we are all now trapped in the eternal corrupt world of things named Bain Capital and random people named Jamie Dimon, a world in which derivatives is not a food crop and have nothing at all to do with an element in the periodic table or a mineral that is essential to good health and must be taken daily. That is the prophetic world of John Milton. A number of great writers who were deployed in the futile attempt to make me a subdued person, that is, a person who would fall so completely in the thrall of the people who could produce such writers, as these writers could produce such a literature, that when I became acquainted with it through reading, I was meant to do nothing but fall silent and gape in awe at the people who gave me John Milton, William Wordsworth, William Shakespeare, John Keats. This world of words made into realms of the imagination was more interesting and profound to me and had more power to impress me than a gun, though in truth a gun pointed at me by the people who wished to subdue me was no longer necessary. These words were enough. Not only would I never know anyone who could produce anything equal to it, I myself must not even consider making an effort to match it. It took me years to separate these writers and their writing from this dishonorable enterprise of subduing me and the people I am from, and when I did, in honor of William Wordsworth, I planted at least 10,000 daffodils in the lawn that stretches out from the door in front of the house in which I now live. Milton, that is, books 1 and 2 of Paradise Lost, I have had no reason to redeem, for it immediately became part of my internal pondering, my plotting of who I might be, how I might respond to the world if I ever got a chance to meet it. Part of the way I came to see the world, part of the way I came to see and understand my everyday. The hero of that book, the name by which he is known in heaven, before he has his famous falling out with his superior, his name is Lucifer. At 7 years of age, I was not the first person to read this poem and understand that he is one of the most appealing characters in literature, if you are in a certain frame of mind, but I didn't know that. Years later, I wrote a book about a young woman who felt cast out of a paradise made up of love and devotion into a world devoid of any familiar emotional contour, a world so new and beyond her imagining, and I named her Lucy with that character in mind, that character who, in his earlier luminescence, I must have determined right then at 7 years of age that his rebellion was justified. And what were those words that I was asked to copy? Here are some of them, and I quote, "Is this the region, this the soil, this the clime, said the then lost archangel, this the seat that we must change for heaven, this mournful gloom for that celestial light? Be it so, since he who is now sovereign can dispose and bid what shall be right. farthest from his is best, whom reason hath equalled, force hath made supreme above his equals. Farewell, happy fields where joy forever dwells. Hail horrors, hail infernal world, and though profoundest hell receive thy new possessor, one who brings a mind not to be changed by place or time. The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. What matter where if I be still the same, and what should I be, all but less than he whom thunder hath made greater? Here at least we shall be free. The Almighty hath not built here for his envy, will not drive us hence. Here we may reign secure, and in my choice to reign is worth ambition, though in hell. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. I was 7, and I copied those words faithfully by lamplight, for we had no electric lights in my house, and so I did not have a bed and a bedside table with a lamp to illuminate my own book of Milton's work. I copied those words of his, but I remember nothing of them so much as I remember that fallen figure, defiant in his defeat, proud, plotting, justifying to himself his lowliness relative to his former grand social stature. He had been a prince in that realm. He is lying prone on the ground in lands unfamiliar to even the creator of these lands. That I identified with Lucifer, the early light is the meaning of his name, is no longer a mystery to me, though it is in reality preposterous and truly self-aggrandizing and ridiculous and everything dismissive to be thrown onto it. But my 7-year-old self did not know it would be held accountable for such an assertion. I identified with him all the same. His name is Lucifer. That is his name in heaven. That is his name when he is good and obedient, and I assume enjoying the life that has been provided for him in paradise. He is a favorite. He is the light in the morning sky. How great is that, to be the first thing beholden by the world as it opens its eyes. And yet paradise is a strange thing. Its completeness has all the iron bands of a prison. It has its own tyrant, and that tyrant has a set of tyrannical ways. And in time, it really does become better to rule in a hell of your own making than to serve in a heaven made by someone else. That I was sensitive to the presence of Lucifer and his problem with paradise had a precedent, and it is this. I could read very well by the time I was 3.5 years of age. My mother, my tyrant if you like, had taught me to do so. She was a great reader, and she read for the sheer pleasure of it, which was very unusual for a woman in her situation. She lived in a world of lack, of most everything that would allow for leisure. When I now think about this process of my learning to read, I associate it with pleasure, magic, a sorcerer's alchemy, for I can see the alphabet itself as a series of decorative images on a blank space, not something to be arranged into words. The words themselves leapt up to me, leapt up to my lips and my eyes. I knew them, those words, and they knew me. My mother had taught me to read because I interrupted her reading, because I interrupted her own devotion to reading, and she reasoned that if I could read, I would do so and leave her alone to continue with her own reading. That calculation of hers worked far better than she could have imagined, for it is so that the tyrant's imagination can only imagine itself. At the age of 3.5 years, I was sent to school. Then a child could only go to school at 5 years, but at that time, my being 3.5 years, I became more of a bother to my mother as a reader than when I could not read, and so she sent me to school. I can remember her saying to me, When they ask you how old you are, say you are 5. We rehearsed this, say you are 5, many times. When I got to school, I did as I was told. I said, I am 5. But the books presented to us then, me the fictive 5, the others the real 5, was so easy for me to read that I mastered it immediately, and the teacher was so amazed that she made me her favorite student. The other children hated me, and for this they threw me into the tub full of what you would expect a tub to be full of in a latrine. I remember that, but not in the way I remember this. The book we were being taught to read from was about a man who was a farmer, for he lived on a farm, and his name was Mr. Joe. He had a cat named Miss Tibbs. He had a dog named Mr. Dan. He had a cow, and that cow must have had a calf, because surely there would have been milking, but I don't remember that. He had a hen, and her name was Mother Hen, and she had 12 chicks. 11 of her chicks were yellow, fluffy, adorable chicks, and they made chick gestures, all involving staying close to her protective wings and heeding her clucking sounds to stay within the boundaries of her protective wings. They had no names. They were only known as the chicks. The 12th chick was named Percy, and he was bigger than the other 11, and all his feathers were black. Percy was a great source of worry to his mother, Mother Hen. He was always doing something that caused disruption in the everyday workings of the farm. As I remember it, he was an irritation to the calm life of Miss Tibbs the cat and Mr. Dan the dog. And Mr. Joe, too, the farmer, worried about him. The farm had a fence that was a height that I now imagine could accommodate Mr. Joe leaning on it thoughtfully and reflecting on the totality of the day's labor on the farm and regarding all his endeavors and accomplishments with satisfaction. In any case, Percy was warned again and again not to attempt to fly up and sit on the top of the fence. Many times he was told not to do this, and he was told not to do this many times because he always wanted to do this, fly up and sit on the top bar of the fence. All of his attempts failed, except once. He did succeed, but only for a moment, and then he fell to the ground and broke his leg. The sentence that illustrated his failure was, as I remember it, Percy the chick had a fall. Percy the chick had a fall. At 3.5 years old, pretending to be 5 years old, told to say fast that I was 5 years old, that declaration, Percy the chick had a fall, remained in my mind and in my memory, and so when I met Lucifer years later, I knew how to read all sorts of things, but I did not understand them. I did not understand the ideas contained in them, these ideas in which my historical existence, my common experience were contained, but something in me, I will not call it instinct, knew that the lone black chick who wished to fly up to the top of the rail of the fence and see all that made up the paradise of Mr. Joe's farm might be a way of understanding and so therefore loving Lucifer, the morning light. A paradise has an author, a paradise has a creator. In Lucifer's case, that paradise, according to its author, had been carved out of an infernal chaos of elements and transmuted into an order that is called a garden. In my case, paradise was an island situated between a sea on one side and ocean on the other. My island was the result of the earth's progression to its ultimate ending, or not, as far as anybody knows. My paradise had an author and a creator. It has a name, but I will just now say to you that it is the 17th largest island on the earth's surface. I am a writer, you know that. I sit in a room somewhere by myself and I imagine things, and then I try to find the words that will make real, or an approximation of real, what I have been piecing together in my head, and I put them on paper and I hope someone will read them. And so what I have had in my mind, my imagination, then takes on a reality, becomes something of substance to the person reading what I have written, and will see the world as I do, the world of my inner self, my imagination. It is that world I see and understand. You must bite the hand that feeds you. Yes, you are instructed to do the opposite. The instruction is, as I say, you must not bite the hand that feeds you. And that is said to you with severity and reverence, and to do the opposite is among the unspoken commandments, certainly among one of the famous 10. This idea is delicately secreted. Honor your immediate progenitors. But it seems to me that you must bite that hand, for how else will you know who you are, who you truly are? Are you the morning star permanently shining in the fixed firmament? Are you Lucifer with your righteousness so self-evident, so assumed, that for any doubt regarding it is a heresy of such enormity, your world must be destroyed? When you bite the hand that feeds you, it will cast you out and show you hell, and it will be that hell. But can you make a heaven out of that? I say to that, yes, for that heaven from which Lucifer came, that heaven from which you will be cast out, is hell, but only you are able to see it. If you find yourself in a heaven, you must be certain it is not a hell. If you find yourself in a hell, you can make a heaven of it. Thank you.
President Kington, it is my pleasure to present those persons of high accomplishment and distinction to whom the faculty and trustees of this college wish to accord honorary degrees. I have the honor to present Jamaica Kincaid for the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
When passions stir deeply, the repercussions can be extraordinary. Jamaica Kincaid, the tide of your passions has reached millions of people on shores around the globe. You grew up under British rule in Antigua, which was a British colony until 1967. There you developed a clear and unsparing view of those colonists who had no regard for your culture or homeland. When you wanted to speak out, writing became your tool. And when your family disapproved, you changed your name from Elaine Potter Richardson to Jamaica Kincaid and went on to become an award-winning writer, novelist, and professor. You left Antigua at the age of 17 to work as an au pair in New York and later studied photography at the New School of Social Research. After writing a series of articles for Ingenue magazine, you spent 9 years as a featured columnist with The New Yorker. You've penned a long list of books and novels, including Annie John, Lucy, At the Bottom of the River, and A Small Place, which inspired the 2001 documentary Life and Debt about the impact globalization can have on a developing country. Your book, Among Flowers, A Walk in the Himalayas, chronicles your adventure with a group of botanists among the mountains of Nepal. Beginning in 1991, you held joint appointments at Harvard University in English and African American Studies departments, and today you are a professor of literature at Claremont McKenna College. You hold numerous awards and honors, Among them, you were elected to the American Academy of Arts and Letters and to the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Recently, you earned the Clifton Fadiman Medal. Jamaica Kincaid, for your ability to raise an eloquent voice against social injustice and to expose diverse issues through language suffused with emotion, vivid images, and evocative honesty, Grinnell College is proud to honor you today.
Jamaica Kincaid, on the recommendation of the faculty of this college and with approval of the Board of Directors, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
President Kington, I have the honor to present Carolyn Swartz Buxbaum for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Carolyn K. Buxbaum. Since graduating from Grinnell College with honors in 1951, you have worked tirelessly to support the arts, education, and charitable causes. You have applied your formal training in English and journalism to bring about change through varied media in Iowa and the nation, and most recently, to transform how physicians will communicate with their patients. Your influence began when, as a Grinnell College student, you joined the League of Women Voters, later serving as an officer in both state and local chapters. Since then, you have given your time as a board member for the Des Moines United Way, the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation, and the Des Moines Arts Center. You are a trustee of the Chicago Symphony, the Art Institute of Chicago, and you're a trustee and past chair of the Grinnell College Board of Trustees. As chair of the Aspen Music Festival Board, your leadership recently helped the festival emerge from a difficult period. In the communications arena, you were the Des Moines Register and Tribune Company's first outside director. You also served as director of Hawkeye Cablevision, president of Grinnell Communications Corporation, as vice president and board member for the Foundation in National Public Radio, and as a founder of Friends of Iowa Educational Broadcasting. When you personally experienced the profound benefit of excellent medical care that included outstanding compassion and communication, you wanted others to benefit from the same quality of service. This impulse led the Matthew and Carolyn Buxbaum Family Foundation to give $42 million to the University of Chicago to create the Buxbaum Institute for Clinical Excellence. The institute you have made possible will place the doctor-patient relationship under rigorous analysis and train a cadre of physicians in patient-centered care. Kay Buxbaum, in acknowledgement of the many ways you have benefited society and improved communication on so many levels through your time, talents, and contributions, Grinnell College proudly honors you today.
Carolyn Swartz Buxbaum, on the recommendation of the faculty of this college and with approval of the Board of Trustees, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Thank you for these kind words and for what I truly consider to be a great honor. About a week ago, I listened to Yo-Yo Ma speak to a number of trustees of the Chicago Symphony. He said he met Pablo Casals, the world's most greatly acclaimed cellist, when he, Yo-Yo, was 9 years old. Casals told him, "First, I'm a human being. Then I'm a musician. And then I'm a cellist." If your Grinnell College has been like mine was. You are graduating today as more of a human being than when you first arrived here. You may or may not know in what genre your life you will be planning to spend the rest of to spend your life. But Casals relegated cellist to his third category, that of a technician who constantly was practicing and working to improve. Mr. Casals' categorical rankings had young Yo-Yo wide-eyed at the time, he said. The world, however, has seen since the great human being that Pablo Casals' influence developed. I believe that Grinnell College strongly influenced my lifelong work toward becoming a human being. I congratulate each of you, too, upon receiving an impressive start on this journey. Thank you.
President Kington, I have the honor to present Pat Irwin for the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
Pat Irwin, since graduating from Grinnell College in 1977, you have enjoyed a remarkable career as a composer, musician, and now instructor at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts Graduate Music Theater program. Your talent and influence have been featured on the stage, over the airways, and on both the large and small screen. You have been important to up-and-coming musicians as an instructor and mentor. For more than 30 years, you have been a vital and innovative figure in American music. As a student here in the 70s, you majored in American Studies, participated in the Grinnell in London program, and received a Thomas J. Watson Fellowship, which enabled you to roam around the world. That is, to spend a year in Paris, attending workshops and performing with composer John Cage. The Paris music scene inspired you to return to New York City and join a band, where your skills as a guitarist, saxophonist, and keyboardist were showcased in no-wave bands that you helped form, the Raybeats and Eight-Eyed Spy. Both bands were noted elements of the Manhattan music scene during the 70s and 80s. You performed, recorded, and took classes at Juilliard and the Manhattan School of Music, and were a longtime performer with the B-52s, which generated international hits like Love Shack and Rome. Further expanding your musical range, you collaborated on an opera with novelist William S. Burroughs. You have composed scores for cartoons, including the Emmy Award-winning Class of 3000. You have written for films, and you composed for the HBO series Bored to Death. You've earned many grants and awards for composition, and today your talents are reaching the next generation of musicians through your work at New York University's Tisch School. Pat Irwin, for your brilliant and enduring contributions to American music and culture, we're privileged to honor you today.
On the recommendation of the faculty of this college and with approval of the Board of Trustees, I hereby admit Pat Irwin to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. There you go. I didn't really want to wear this thing anyway.
Hello, and congratulations to you all. It's a wonderful honor for me to be here and to be part of this celebration, which it really is. Thanks to President Kington and the faculty, past and present, the administration and the staff, and to all of you who make Grinnell College what it is. I want to take a quick minute to thank Rachel Bly for taking such good care of my family and for me. And I also want to also thank Rod Schultz for taking such good care of my family and for not only his work with the development office, but for checking up on me in New York City and keeping me connected to the school. And there's no way that I could have done any of those things that were mentioned to you, those beautiful remarks, without thanking my family, which is my mother and both my brothers and their families, and my wife Terry and my son. And I'd also like to thank my dad, who is no longer here, but with me always. When I was sitting essentially in this place and about to get my degree at about the same time in 1977, I could never have imagined the impact that Grinnell would have on my life and my career. You're all graduating with degrees, and that's a wonderful honor and it's fine. But you're graduating with something much more, and that's each other. It's a phenomenal asset and invaluable, and it might not be particularly clear at the moment, but it's something I strongly urge you to nurture and to develop. It's a treasure. This place, but not only the people, the place, but the people connected to it. It's something you'll always have. And quickly, I also want to thank a woman who was here when I was a student named Georgia Dental. And Georgia was the administrative advisor for college events. In my case, I was the concert chairperson or co-chairperson. And I worked closely with Georgia on putting together the concerts. She was passionate about the job. She had very strong opinions, but she was also very good at it. That experience and the impact of working with musicians, it stayed with me forever. It's still with me today. That experience gave me access to music and musicians. It was much, much deeper than learning about the notes. It was about the life and the details and the discipline. I didn't graduate with a degree in music. My degree was in American Studies, which at the time was among the more liberal of the liberal arts. But it was really about my professors Charles Cleaver and Al Jones giving me the encouragement to interview the residents of Wetshire, Iowa, for an oral history report on that town. And it was also about my art history professor, Dick Servine, who knowingly or unknowingly showed me the music in a Jackson Pollock painting. The way he spoke about art, painting, was a work of art in and of itself. I can never forget the time that he came to see me play at CBGB's. It was a total surprise. It always felt like it's such a small, intimate place. And to see him there, he was standing right in front, and if you knew him, you'll remember he had on a big bulky sweater. It's totally inappropriate, but he also had on a big, beautiful smile, and that single act of kindness by just being there was probably one of the more memorable and validating moments in my career. I can't really estimate the value of my liberal arts degree, and to say that I use it every day isn't quite accurate. It's something much more than that. I'm glad I've got it, and I'm glad to be celebrating it right now, right here with you. I mean this. We need more of you in the world. We need the ones who connect the dots between science and literature, and theater and religion, and we need the ones that can connect with all the humanity of it all. Thank you, and congratulations.
It is now my privilege as president to recognize members of the faculty who, after long and devoted tenure at the college, are entering upon emeritus status. I now ask D. Fairchild, Associate Professor of Physical Education, to rise. Grinnell's mission statement dedicates the college to, quote, the intellectual, moral, and physical well-being of individuals and of society at large, unquote. For over 20 years, you have nurtured all three of these aspects of human well-being. During your time as athletic director from 1986 to 2007, you continued and strengthened the college's dedication to nurturing student athletes. The result of your work is generations of intellectually vibrant and physically accomplished Grinnellians, many of whom have returned to teach in the physical education department and coach Grinnell teams. Your success brought you many invitations to serve as external reviewer of physical education and athletic programs at liberal arts colleges, including Pomona and Wellesley and Bryn Mawr. You were asked to serve on many prominent national and regional committees. You chaired the committee overseeing the merger of the Midwest Athletic Conference and the Midwest Athletic Conference for Women, and you chaired the Merge Conference in 2006 and 2007. In addition to coaching tennis, golf, basketball, and field hockey, you fostered recreational activities at the college. You helped create new athletic fields and tennis courts. You served on committee as a regular team member or captain or the Grinnell Town and Gown campaigns, and as an active citizen in your church and in the local area. Your most visible monument is the magnificent Charles Benson Bear 39 Recreation and Athletic Center. The name itself shows how dedicated you are to the wellness of all the members of the college community and of the town of Grinnell. For your many accomplishments and for your unfailing dedication to the college's mission, we are proud to honor you as Associate Professor Emerita of Physical Education. I now ask Christopher Mckee, Samuel R., and Marie-Louise Rosenthal, Professor of Library Science, to rise. I'm going to read. I can't see very well. The library is the heart of any institution of higher... there you are. The library is the heart of any institution of higher learning. Their vital role is often overlooked or taken for granted. You have worked tirelessly for some 4 decades to make sure that Grinnell College's heart continues to beat steadily. During your time at the head of the libraries, you saw to it that its work went through smoothly and the college could rely on the libraries as a matter of course. You presided over the development of fully automated library services. You oversaw the renovation and expansion of Burling Library in the 1980s. You worked to develop the new Kissel Science Library and the renovated Noyes Science Center. Perhaps most important for the daily life of the college, you built a strong, service-oriented library staff made up of people with a wide range of skills and interests who could support faculty members and their students as they participate in the intellectual community of Grinnell, the nation, and the world. You have devoted your scholarly career to studying the lives of officers and sailors in the United States and British navies. The result, besides many articles, are 3 books: Edward Preble, A Naval Biography, 1761 to 1807, A Gentlemanly and Honorable Profession, The Creation of the U.S. Naval Officer Corps, 1794 to 1815, and Sober Men and True, Sailor Lives in the Royal Navy, 1900 to 1945. Your research continues and has been recognized by your recent appointment as scholar in residence at the Newberry Library in Chicago. For decades of serving the needs of a growing and changing intellectual community, we are pleased to honor you with the title of Librarian Emeritus of the College. I now recognize Associate Professor of Russian, Helen Scott, who cannot be with us today. Both as a teacher of Russian and as Associate Dean of the College, you have dedicated countless hours to fostering internationalism at Grinnell. In addition to teaching Russian at Grinnell and for many summers at the Beloit Center for Language Study, you helped develop the study of linguistics at the college and to add Chinese, Japanese, and Arabic to the curriculum. Besides helping to bring the world to Grinnell, you took Grinnellians to the wider world. You co-founded and directed the Associated Colleges of the Midwest semester abroad in Russia. She also worked closely with Donna Venter, resident site director of Grinnell in London, to find new and more suitable space for the London program. You led travel seminars for Grinnell alumni and students, as well as for Stanford, the University of New Hampshire, and the Smithsonian Institution. During your dozens of years as Associate Dean, you worked long and hard to support innovations in pedagogy across the curriculum and to help modernize teaching spaces in ARH. You also dedicated time and effort to promoting the college in the national arena. You participated in numerous national conversations about how best to create supportive communities of teachers and scholars, and made frequent presentations at national conferences and about a range of innovations at Grinnell. For this tireless work in the classroom and behind the scenes to bring Grinnell to the world and the world to Grinnell, we are pleased to honor you as Associate Professor Emerita of Russian. I now recognize Saadi Simawe, Associate Professor of English. Your life has been one of building bridges between cultures, between people, between ways of knowing, and between disciplines. The journey that brought you to Grinnell 20 years ago was a long one, taking you from Baghdad to Libya to Nebraska and finally to Iowa. Your scholarship bridges cultures. Though your specialty is African American literature, you have placed by its side constructions of blackness in Arabic literature that reveal comparable attitudes toward blackness in an attempt to justify enslaving individuals in both the medieval Arab and the more modern American societies. You have published on both African American and Arabic literature, and you have been an active translator between Arabic and English, including Arabic versions of poems by Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman. Not content with writing about or translating other works of literature, you wrote fiction in your native Arabic with one novel already published and another now in progress. During your 4 years as director of the Grinnell Writers Conference, you brought many prominent writers to read their works on campus. While they were here, many held workshops, taught many courses, and served as judges for students' poetry and fiction competitions. You taught at Nanjing University as a part of the Grinnell-Nanjing Exchange and in Cheikh Anta Diop University in Dakar, Senegal. Close to home, you convened a bridging project between the college and the University of Iowa, and you continue to maintain a close relationship with the university's International Writing Program. For both building bridges and courageously leading others across them, we are pleased to honor you as Associate Professor Emeritus of English. I now ask Professors Sigmund Barber, Victoria Brown, Robert Cadmus, Timothy Chasson, Janice Gross, Jennifer Michaels, Charles Sullivan, and Roger Vetter to stand. Are you all standing? I can see most. There we go. It is my honor to recognize those faculty members moving to senior faculty status or taking early retirement. Senior faculty status recognizes those members of the faculty who wish to be released from their regular full-time teaching obligations to pursue scholarly and professional activities associated with the college. Congratulations, you may be seated.
President Kington and ladies and gentlemen, the Dean of the College will now present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Would the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree please rise? President Kington, on recommendation of the faculty of Grinnell College, I present to you these candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Having fulfilled all of the academic requirements, they are deemed worthy of and entitled to this degree.
As president of Grinnell College, I now recommend to the Board of Trustees, through you as one of its members, that each of these students be graduated to the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
President Kington, the charter of this institution states that the college's object shall be to promote the general interests of education and to qualify young people for the different professions and for their honorable discharge of the various duties of life. It is a pleasure for me to acknowledge that these students have not only completed a course of formal study at this institution, but have also come to know the demands and the rewards of a shared experience of learning. As such, they have indeed furthered the general interests of education and qualified themselves for their honorable discharge of the various duties of life. The Board of Trustees is therefore pleased to accept your recommendation and authorizes you as president to grant this degree.
By the authority vested in me by the trustees of Grinnell College, I now officially declare that having met all the requirements, you are today granted the degree of Bachelor of Arts and are admitted to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities that it confers. Congratulations, you may be seated.
President Kington, Professor Todd Armstrong will call the graduates in the Division of Humanities.
Will the graduates to the Bachelor of Arts degree from the Division of Humanities please come to the platform as instructed by the Marshal? Jessica Lee Addison. Marie Hamilton Ackerman. Ben Goynam Aronowitz. Emily Anna Baget. Caitlin Eleanor Baylor. Megan Catherine Baylor. Deborah Evelyn Burke. Olivia Yalda Danka Birwari. Tad Arthur Wildhagen Bomer. Dana Ruth Bricken. Jennifer Ruth Brown. Colin McDougall Carr. Tessa Elizabeth Cheek. Catherine Hee-Young Chung. Hannah Lee Coulter. Patrick Joseph Comprin. David Martin Cummings. Phoebe Courier. Silvio Lucio Curtis. Concepcion de Leon Suarez. Guillaume de Perlingui. Grant David Dissett. Gillian Ford Dryjansky. Jared James Dye. Catherine M. Edeker. Ethan Nicholas Edel. Natalie Anna Eisenberg. Solveig Ellingbo. Kyle Komabig Espinosa. Corbin Jeffrey Eiley. Idril M. Faith. Mandy Marie Fassett. Catherine Frances Ferraro. Harrison Reese Fertig. Alenka Ariana Figa. Lauren Grace Flynn. Elise Marguerite Gallant. Madeline Marie Garcia. Madeline Elizabeth Garvey. Mary Jane McDonald Giese. Laura McBride Glass. Gabriela Marie Graziano. Lizeth Gutierrez. Sophie Elizabeth Haas. Dane Matthew Haken. Rachel Buss Halpern. Erica Lee Hauswald. Nicholas Martin Hinojosa. Maya Rusha Hobshot. Evan Scott Hockett. Emily Marie Hopkins. Olivia Sheridan Haran. Maria Dorothy Husey. Galen E. Hutchinson. Kelly Ann Ikobazi. Christopher Thomas Jarman. Eric Olson Jarvis. Jarrett LaRue Joubert. Melanie Anna Jesuits. Charles Ian Kessner. Vargas Khachatryan. Alexis Rose Lusler. Helen Elizabeth Lewandowski. Michael Anthony Majorana. Tiffany Nicole Massey. Matthew Jonathan Mertes. Susanna Jane Moeller. Armando Alters Montaño. Kristen Elizabeth Moreland. Joanna Marie Murray. Vincent James Newton. Robert Francis O'Connell. Lauren Catherine O'Hare. Emma Jane Opolka. Mona Agnes Porter. Marfa Glebovna Prokhorova. Danica Maritza Radashevich. Austin C. Redmond. The President's Medal is awarded annually at each commencement to the senior who exemplifies an ideal Grinnell student. Superior scholarship, demonstrated leadership that credits both the student and the college, compassionate and sensitive behavior, and individual responsibility are among the qualities that must be demonstrated. It is my pleasure to present the President's Medalist for 2012, Eric Joseph Ritter. Melanie Frances Rockoff. Matthew Grant Rosenbaum. Luke Henry Saunders. Michael Edgar Scholes. Hannah Cleveland Shepard. Rashawn Alicia Sims. Matthew James Skelly. Rachel Hayslip Smith. Stephanie Deanne Smith. Kimberly Jane Steele. Brittany Lane Steiner. Susanna Power Stangel. Nicole Angela Stevenson. Benjamin Noah Tape. Hannah C.S. Taylor. Ann Viola Tempest. Noah Daniel Tettenbaum. Elizabeth Rose Thompson. Sethian Trevor in absentia. Amy Suey. Devin Allen Turner. Emily Michelle Oberg. Paloma Chele Velasquez. Joseph Veneziano. Alana Vogel. Kyle Christopher Walters. Nicholas Lewis Wilson. Angeline Miran Wu. Elizabeth Woodman Wright. John Patrick Young. Rebecca Grace Young Ward in absentia. President Kington, these are the graduates from the Division of Humanities.
President Kington, Professor Elizabeth Trimmer will call the graduates from the Division of Science.
Will the graduates to the Bachelor of Arts degree from the Division of Science please come to the platform as instructed by the Marshal? Charles Norman Adelson. Alicia Ama Afrabroting. Margaret Anderson Allen. Kristen Claire Armbruster. Andrea Asantawa Asiman. Christopher William Barbay. David Stephen Barrientos. Camila Maria Gracia Barinos Camacho. Robert Bo Basili. Belissa Bridget Bell. The Andrew W. Archibald Prize for Highest Scholarship is awarded at each commencement to that student or students who have attained the best record of academic achievement over the 4-year period of collegiate work. Established in 1927, the award is named for its donor, the Reverend Andrew W. Archibald, who served as a distinguished member of the college's Board of Trustees. It is my pleasure to present the Archibald Prize medalist for 2012, Emily Elizabeth Blythe. Glenn Oscar Bonilla. Francis Day Walker Bothfeld. Ode Dolly Boignon. Dylan James Boucher. Samantha Louise Brayman. Asher Ellis Bratt. Daryl Robert Brost. Kelly Hall Bruce. Julia Catherine Brynildson. Trenton Paul Bush. Max Alexander Collenberg. Sophia Tamaro Carpio Leon. Rebecca Ann Carter. Harley Chang. Manwika Charistanya. Pericles Hagistavridis. Tina Bomi Chong. Amid Abdallah Chaudhry. Ethan Huyen Chon. Michael Richard Cole. Matthew Brian Corley. Da Tway. Jonathan Gregory Davis. Kelsey Shane Davis. Anna Glenn Day. Noel E. DeGuss. Sebastian De Pasquale. Martin Deluhosh. Cynthia Alyssa Dominguez. Michael Joseph Doherty. Kate Leah Duran. Melanie Hope Ecults. Madeline Laureen Eiler. Fatima Alehi. Jonah Weiner Elman. Pablo Alejandro Enriquez Dunkel. Jameson Walter Fawcett Carmen. Charlotte Rose Fedderson. Chase Allen Felker. Carissa Faith Fernandez. Gregory Peter Fox. Phyllis Frimpong. Misha Nazanin Gadiri. Sarah Philip Goddess. David Claiborne Gold. Bradley Curtis Gordon. Sachiko Hijikata Graber. Logan Jose Gonara. Chanel Antoinette Griggs. Jacob Ethan Conviser Guild. Nadia Hassan. Holland Leslie Howenstein in absentia. Grace Ellen Hazeltine. Seth Alexander Kirsch Heithaus. Andrew Kiyoshi Hirakawa. Sarah Ann Hoffman. Andrew Brent Howard. Heyman Toon. Jonathan Azmi Ismail. Joseph Samuel Jaffe. Allison Helen Jameson Lucy. Kevin Matthew Jennison. Sheen Jing. George Matthew John. Josephine Marie Jew. Christopher Stephen Kaiser Nyman. Jason James Camus. Ethan James Kenvarg. Bonnie Catherine Kircher. Dugan Dershell Canole. James Robert Lee Cook. Terrian Devare Cossack. Nathan Iyer Krishnan. Bogdan Kristich. Thomas St. Julian Lenkewich. Paul Robert Ledger. Winzow Lee, in absentia. Eric P. Lewis. Laura Louise Lockwood. Dylan Patrick Logan. Glenda Maria Lopez. Kirsten Ann Louthan. Boanne Rosemary McGregor. Anna Berlin Mancebo. Andrew Scott Markham. Peter Thomas Marshall. Natalia Mayer Maurer. Sarah Alexandra Mayer. Ian Averill McCollum Cook. Diane Eileen Meisels. Justin David Miller. William Judson Govariro. Marina Musa. Brent David Myron. Suresh Kevin Nayar. James David Ing. Michael Tig Nadzensky. Brendy Margot Peralta. Grace Tucker Phillip. Julie Irete Poder. Robert Benjamin Pope. Wenyang Chen. William Joshua Raymond. Elizabeth Picard Reichman. Elizabeth Anna Ryden. Okay. Benjamin Wood Saderholm in absentia. Amar Sakar. Charles Benjamin Swam. Hannah Elizabeth Seberg. Maria Borishovna Shapiro. Samuel Elliott Sherwood. Caitlin Ann Short. Kirsten Elizabeth Shriver. Harpreet Man Singh. Joseph Glenn Senwell. Cyrus Matern Smith. Griffin Wilcox Smith. Benjamin Joseph Spears. Merrill Ann Spencer. Russell Scott Steinbach. Alexander Wynn Streck. Zing Su. Benjamin W. Su. Tatiana Sokamikova. Bose Sushats. Elaine Teo. Victoria Vertillo. Catherine Katsue Walder. Dylan Christopher Walker. Colin Jianming Wee. Cecily Meredith Wegman. Jafang Wei in absentia. Rita Marlene Wells. Brian Olaf Westerland. Jeanette Marie Wilfong. Molly Elaine Wingfield. Melanie Lynn Warricks. Evan Robert Smith Wright. Xiaohan Wu. Koa Zhang in absentia. Colin Michael Porter Yarnell. James Alexander Yox. Bridget Marie Zajac. Marcus Aaron Zeitz. President Kington, these are the graduates from the Division of Science.
Can you read one more name?
Oh, okay, okay, all right. All right. Sorry, one more. Let me find his name. Benjamin Wood Saderholm. President Kington, now, these are the graduates from the Division of Science.
President Kington, Professor Pablo Silva will call the graduates in the Division of Social Studies.
Will the graduates to the Bachelor of Arts degree from the Division of the Social Studies please come to the platform as instructed by the Marshal? Gretchen Nicole Akins. Alba Karen Alarcon. Maya Johanna Andelson. Evelyn Sarah Anderson. Anna Laughlin Armstrong. Catherine Rose Atchison. Shafali Aurora. Akshay Bujaj. Holden Bale. Kunal Kolib Mahesh Bonsal. Miriam Rose Barkus. Samantha Lee Bates. Sumbit Behera. Elizabeth Ann Bear. Jordan Zachary Bell Masterson. Jacqueline Celia Blair. Michael Joseph Bogard. William Howlett Bohannon. James Anthony Barrasso, Jr. Anna Elise Bosak. Annalisa Bowens. Philip Arthur Brogdon. Elizabeth C. Bueller. Toby Ray Kane. Hannah Maria Campos. Grace Cassidy Carroll. Lindsay Elizabeth Chalice. Matthew Jacob Chalupa. Leanne Chen. Ryan David Krebs. Revan Avery Dara. Catherine James DeMott Grady. Heather Ashley Dean. Caitlin Sarah Deutsch. Christopher Daniel Dorman. Ethan Charles Dretches. Joseph Thomas Durheim, in absentia. Marcus A. Egan. Elias Butras Elias. Hiba Abbas El Noor. Emma Louise Evans. Sophie Elise Fajardo. Max Allen Myers Farrell. Lori June Ignacio Fernandez. Joe Fulton Fouché III. Austin Ronald Frerick. Noah Peter Fribley. Marco Antonio Xavier Fulgoni. Daniel Isaac Garcia Molina. Madeline Ann Gardner. Julia Gerasimenko. Kajari Ghosh. Ronnie J. Gray. Claire Maria Griffith. Anchal Gulati. Paige Siniver Wickham Hill. Scott Campbell Hogue. Michael Harecki, in absentia. Lauren Nicole Horn. Stephen Joseph Hudak. Megan Jane Huey. Rebecca Jean Hughes. Samuel John Imlay. Ashley Maria Jenin. Andrew Jacob Johnson. Jeremy David Johnson. Elif Karatash. Karen Linnea Carlin, in absentia. Daye Kim. Sarah Rose Kittleson. Daniel Martin Kraus. Heather Michelle Kubicek. Catherine Morgan Lakey. Krista Lee. Chuyen Lim. Peter Geffen McFarland. Kalena Elanive Makanue. Joseph Francis Maloney. Nathan Robert Mannheimer. Colin Averill McCollum Cook. Alexander James McConnell. Michael Thomas McHugh. Kramer Jones McCluckey. Daniel Thomas Murley. Sejan Mia. Tiashun Miao in absentia. Catherine Laili Moisantos. Winnie Mulumba. Kristen Lois Muma. Michelle Grace Murphy. Andrew Ryan Myers. Kelsey Paige Nix. David Kwesi Aupong Wadie. Hannah Marie Packard. Margarita Stoyanova Panova. Corey Milton Paul. Christopher Raphael Piconga. Rachel Pedersen. Wesley Colin Phipps. Anne Elizabeth Piggott. Maya Cooper Pillett. Charity Anna Porotosano. Aurora Bell Quinn Elmore. Eric L. Reagan. Biwa Rajbandari. Martha Carson Riley. Emma Rose Breligert. Alexander Gedalia Rich Shea. Heather Margaret Rumsey Riggs. Anne Elizabeth Robinson. Anne Elizabeth Ross. Devin Amber Ross. Amelia Marie Rudberg. Saeda Samira Sadek. Sneha Sushil Saigul. Michael Musake Sawula. Gabe Schechter. Robert Stephen Sear. Erica Seltzer Schultz. Nikesha Lenora Sewell. Carrie Thomas Speck. Emily Strauss Stanfield. Colleen Bootson Strickler. Charlie James Sutton. Paul Christian Tavares. Gaurav Thapa. Eric Niels Jossam. Anne Gabriella Tomlinson. Kevin Vu Trudell. Shunji Yukai. Sunanda Vadish. Thomas Edward Paul Van Heeke. Melissa Vasquez. Chandra Wang. Brielle Michael Waxman. Justin Theodore Weddle. Robin Lee Wetherill. Aaron Lee Grijalva Whalen. Alexander Huxley White. Jamie Ray Wiebold. Olivia K. Wilkes. Allison Claire Wong. Amanda K. Ratton. Shuang Yu Cynthia Wu. Clevy Jajo. Brooke Elizabeth Yoder. Sung-hyun Yu. Hua-ming Yu. Zoe Maria May Zeeby. Sa-chao Zhang.
Her name got missed, so could you go back and repeat it?
Sure. Punita Sahu. President Kington, these are the graduates from the Division of Social Studies.
President Kington, Dean Paula Smith will call the graduates to the Bachelor of Arts degree with independent and interdivisional majors.
I see that the graduates to the Bachelor of Arts degree with independent and interdivisional majors are independent enough to already have come to the platform, as instructed by the Marshal. We have Nidia Bautista. Caitlin Hayes Beeling. Catherine Stockman Viciniano. Morgan Dawn Bober. Paul Wynne Dampier. Winsome Eustace. Michael Adam Goldfine. Ana Louise Enriquez. Maria Elena Higgs. Joseph Eugene Hiller. Isaiah Israel Iboko. Elliot Gary Carl. Joseph Max Kaufman. Corina Yvonne Keeler. Kayla Anna Cater. Christian Jordan Loggins. Caroline Briscoe Lowe. Needing no introduction, Watsanai Karen Samantha Motzi. Naima Ali Osman. F. Alexander Peterson. Zoe Susanna Shine. Laura Elizabeth Stan. Robert Douglas Stewart. Amanda Adrian Stromquist. And Ariel Page Vinson. President Kington, these are the graduates with independent and interdivisional majors. President Kington, I wish at this time to recognize the members of the class of 2012 who have been accepted into the 9th semester program leading to Iowa teaching certification. Would these students please stand as I call their names and remain standing until I have completed the list? Lori June Harley Chang. Oh, I'm sorry, Harley Chang. I'm misreading my list. It's getting on here, isn't it? Harley Chang, please stand. And Lori June Ignacio Fernandez. Great. Wesley Colin Phipps. Rachel Therese Pedersen. Eric L. Reagan. And Anne Elizabeth Ross. Great. Please be seated.
4 years ago, at a welcoming ceremony, the college presented you with a medallion just like this one. It was a token of Grinnell's history, and perhaps more importantly, a symbol of your future potential. Why a medallion? On June 10th, 1846, the members of the Iowa Band founded Iowa College, later to become Grinnell. The band, a group of New England ministers, were inspired to make their journey in part by a fellow minister's prophecy that, quote, if this nation is, in the providence of God, destined to lead the way in moral and political emancipation of the world, it is time she understood her high calling and was harnessed for the work. This was a complicated sentiment. The man who made it, Lyman Beecher, was the father of Harriet Beecher Stowe. But more notably, his views were characterized by the anti-Catholicism of the time. He also refused to allow African Americans to study at his seminary. The words of his prophecy carried echoes of manifest destiny. And yet the band was somehow able to look beyond his prejudices and derive a sense of mission. They understood their calling, and it wasn't about sectarianism or racism. It was about moral and political emancipation, which they interpreted in terms that were inclusive and respectful and rooted in a commitment to social justice, including abolitionism. This was, in some ways, the emergence of the Grinnellian concept of civility. Civility is about taking personal responsibility for your community, about being accountable for your choices, about speaking and listening in ways that support shared understanding, and about demonstrating the moral courage to defend your rights and the rights of others. It was notable that the band was able to listen to a man like Beecher, a well-known, influential man whose views they may have disagreed with. Yet they were able to look past his prejudices and derive something from the exchange that was essentially humane and worthy of our better nature. In that moment of our origins, you see the crystallization of a community characterized by civility and critical thinking and self-governance, and a commitment to humane ideas, all essentially Grinnellian ideas. Yes, I did read the tags. There's one more intrinsically Grinnellian idea that emerged from that episode as well. As the band labored to create a new college, one of their leaders, James Jeremiah Hill, reportedly laid a silver dollar on the table. He told his colleagues the coin would be the cornerstone of a new college, the first dollar in its treasury. According to an early account, as he sat down, he told them, now appoint a committee to take care of it. So even then, life was about committees. They did take care of it. because they spared a thought for the future. And now, more than 160 years later, we are the beneficiaries of their foresight. The college they created has matured into one of the nation's outstanding liberal arts institutions. The institution whose imprimatur was bestowed on you today. James Hill saw an opportunity for leadership and set down the challenge that began the long journey to today. Like him, you will experience moments of tremendous possibility in your life, moments where it's up to you to set processes in motion that will bear fruit far into the future. I hope that when those moments arise, you will draw on your Grinnell experiences to guide your actions. It is important to remember that you created these experiences. You selected your major. You designed your curriculum. You chose what events to attend and which professors to work with. Grinnell offered you innumerable opportunities, but you made the choices ultimately. Those choices committed you to years of hard work. Many of you are graduating today with double majors, an accomplishment that was relatively uncommon just a few generations ago. Many more of you completed a dual concentration. You also took your learning beyond the classroom in classic Grinnellian fashion. I would like a quick show of hands. How many graduates here today undertook some form of off-campus study during your 4 years? Raise your hands. Mentored advanced projects, MAPS, independent studies. You have also demonstrated great social commitment. Today's graduating class includes students who taught in our liberal arts in prisons program, which has been nationally recognized. You have led actions to protect the rights of others through the Stonewall Resource Center, helped people in need through your work in alternate spring break, supporting local community members with microloans through the Social Entrepreneurs of Grinnell, which were recognized by the White House this year. My family and I have enjoyed your musical performances, celebrated your athletic achievements, been enlightened by your presentations and poster sessions, and greatly relieved that you've never commented on the behavior of our little boys. From the bare South to Bucksbaum, you brought this campus to life with your ideas, your creativity, and your passion. This has been a challenging year for us, as you know. We weathered campus controversies and differences of opinion. I hope you have learned from these experiences as I have. It is in moments of adversity that we develop the skills necessary to succeed in the world. If so, there's been a lot of learning happening on this campus this year. None of us is perfect, and similarly, Grinnell is not a perfect institution. But we must be judged both by what we do and by what we aspire to. Now you're going forward from this Grinnellian community with its imperfections and its aspirations. As you do, you will carry a little bit of that community with you wherever you go. That community is one of the greatest gifts we give our graduates. It will continue to benefit you your entire life long. Grinnell will always be with you, and Grinnellians will never be far away. Our community is also a civil community. That concept is deeply rooted in our history and culture, as I've described. The special thing about civil communities is that they are able to converse respectfully, exchange ideas, and solve problems. If we commit to the civil qualities of generosity, trust, goodwill, and grace, we can overcome differences of opinion that might otherwise seem insurmountable. We can do amazing things. You can do amazing things. This medallion symbolizes your potential as a Grinnellian. I charge you, as you look on it years from now, to remember your time here and the lessons you learned. Remember to draw on those lessons in moments of opportunity and moments of challenge. Remember to use what you have learned to help those in need, speak for them, support them, when necessary, on their behalf and in their best interests. Commit to this work with passion and intelligence and civility in your private and public lives. When you do, you will accomplish wonderful things. I offer you my warmest congratulations and entrust you with my greatest hopes. May you flourish.
Everyone, please rise to receive the benediction.
As this celebration draws to a close, we pray for guidance for these graduates on the journey to come. May they each go forward living a life of fulfilled dreams. May they be visionary with grace, patience, and perseverance as they seek to achieve new goals. We give thanks that their lives and work have positively impacted our community and contributed to meeting its needs in service to others. Help them to carry with them this commitment to engage in their communities and in this world in ways that will benefit the common good. May their future work be strengthened by the personal connections and wisdom they have gained at Grinnell. And finally, we pray that you keep them and their families safe as they travel from this place. Peace be upon us all. Amen.